Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Tuesday. All of our guests today, including Craig Button, standing by, brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Located in beautiful Parksville, the Bayside is the spot to relax your mind and indulge your senses, all while taking in their panoramic ocean views. Book your island getaway today at BaysideOceanfrontResort.com as we bring in TSN Scouting Director Craig Button in the wake of a significant 4-0 Canucks victory over the LA Kings. You okay over there?
Yeah, no, I just
Okay, do that a couple more times. Okay. I'm sure Craig's ears appreciated that. TSN Scouting Director Craig Button joining us now. How are you, sir?
I am good, Donnie, but I think the big question here is how's Rick? Rick, you got to keep your hands above the desk here. Just keep them up above there, right?
Yeah. Where am I here? Yeah. No, you got it. I don't want to be coughing when the great Craig Button's on.
Yeah. Well, listen, nobody wants to be coughing over anybody, but I appreciate the kind words.
It's a well-oiled machine here, Craig. Hey, your reaction to all the moves made Sunday by the Vancouver Canucks?
Well, we've talked about this, and I think that from Francesco Aquilini, he had to put a stake in the ground, and either that stake is behind Jim Benning and his management group, or you make the change, and they're in the process now of evaluating what that management group will look like. But a change behind the bench was also in the offing, and I where they were, and Saturday night, I've heard a lot of people talk about, oh, it's disrespectful to throw the jersey on the ice. In my view, it isn't. In my view, that's a show of displeasure. It's not a show of disrespect. It's a show of displeasure. And when people are paying big money, not only to watch the game and for their tickets, but for those jerseys, I think that's what it is. It's about displeasure more than anything. And there was a lot of displeasure in the Canucks market. But I think that, when you run up against the challenges that the Vancouver Canucks are running up against, and seemingly not really answers to what plagued them, you either come up with answers with the current group or you find answers from another group. And that's what Francesco Aquilini decided to do. And, that's the inevitability of professional sports. It's no different with Anna Vigneault in Philadelphia. And certainly, you can look at a lot of different areas of the team and everything. But bottom line is, as Francesco Aquilini said, we can't continue in this manner with this group. We need a new outlook behind the bench, and we're looking for new voices in the front office.
Sounds like Stan Smeel pushed for Bruce Boudreau. Do you understand, Craig, why the Canucks have put their faith in Bruce?
Yeah, I do. Listen, Bruce has been a wildly successful coach in the National Hockey League, and and I think it's easy to look at the record and say, okay, he's wildly successful, but I'll go a little bit deeper and tell you why. First of all, there's a lot of offensive talent in the Vancouver Canucks lineup. And that was really, really, I think, a real touch point, because it's one thing to say, okay, we got to strengthen our blue line, but the goaltending's strong. Quinn Hughes is a top-notch defenseman in the forward group, but the forward group was not performing anyway. Bruce Boudreau will allow that forward group to, he'll not just allow them, he'll encourage them to be creative, to be imaginative, to play to their strengths. And that to me is when your team has such a obvious strength, you got to play to it. I understood what Travis Green was trying to do. I didn't think it was the right course. He was trying to protect the weakness at the expense of his strength. And you could see the spirit of that forward group was really diminished. And Bruce is going to come right in. He showed it in his first game. Hey, get playing, play to your strengths, free up, and we'll take care of the other parts in different ways. But Bruce is not going to try to protect a weakness at the expense of his greatest strength. And that's going to ignite the spirit of that forward group, and rightfully so.
So, Craig, the Flyers and the Canucks make a coaching change. Flyers get bombed. Canucks do well last night. In your experience in the past with a new coach coming in, talk about the pros and cons, how long it lasts, that momentum, the new feeling, all the new energy, all that stuff.
Well, Bruce has a lot of energy. I mean, you go look at Bruce's overall record. He's got, and look at the players that he's worked with. I mean, they go and they have good seasons and they play, but it's not just the top players; it's all the players. He's not going to ask Tyler Mott to all of a sudden try to score. He's going to say, Tyler, we need you to do these things. He's going to emphasize to his defensemen, listen, you better get the pucks quick and you better move that puck quickly because we got some really good offensive players up there and they need to have the puck. And the more we spend time in our own zone, we're going to put pressure on Demko and it's going to create problems. So he's going to emphasize the key areas of the game, but he's not going to, he understands exactly what he has. And, I don't think it's ever about the new coach bump or 10 days or a week or 3 games. I think Bruce is going to come in here and make a material difference to the group in Vancouver and to those individual players specifically. And that's what they needed. They need, and it's not just, it's great last night. It was great to hear them chanting Bruce, as the clock wound down and everything that went with it, because the Vancouver Canucks fans are passionate. They're wonderful. They care. And we go back to the jersey. That displeasure, that throwing of the jersey on the ice is displeasure, and we know it. It's also passion. It's also real passion, how much they care about their team and how disappointed it, and when you watch Bruce and you watch and understand how he comes in and works with players, I think that it's not going to be just the freshness of it all. Yeah, that's nice, and they hear a different voice, and that becomes new. But at the same time, Bruce is fresh, and Bruce is going to keep it fresh, and Bruce is going to keep it invigorating.
Craig, you have fans' opinion, media, and hockey people. I like asking hockey people, what did you think was Jim's downfall in Vancouver, Bennings? Like, what was it that he wasn't doing right, Craig?
I think clearly it was the building of the blue line. I said this in the summer, and it's a tongue-in-cheek comment, Rick. That they were cornering the market on bottom pair defensemen. Bottom pair defensemen need lots of protection. They need protection in front of them. And, you have Quinn Hughes. He's brilliant. I think that's obvious. Oliver Ekman-Larsson is a real nice, solid addition, but Oliver Ekman-Larsson needs support. Quinn Hughes needs support, and those bottom pair defensemen need support. You start scaling them up the lineup and asking them to do more, you're just stretching them, and you're stretching not only the individuals thin, you're stretching the group thin. And when you have 2 massive holes, let me be clear here, massive holes in your top pairing, your 2 top pairing defensemen, call it your top forward group, right? Those are holes that can't be masked. My dear late friend, Brad McCrimmon, always used to say, if you don't have the defenseman that can carry the responsibilities, carry the significant minutes against the challenges that top players and other teams and teams pose to you, you can't patch that area. Jim never was able to get that area to an area where it was more than middling. And a middling blue line leads to a middling team. And Bruce is going to come in and he's going to work with the forward group and whatnot, Rick. But at the same time, they need 2 defensemen on that blue line for them to take a step forward in their play and to be a better team and meet the challenges going forward.
Of course, the irony there is that Jim himself was an old, fairly successful defenseman. Very quickly, Craig, what's in the future for Travis Green and Jim Benning?
Well, I think Travis Green will be a coach in the National Hockey League. I think Travis, again, I talked about, trying to protect the weakness at the expense of a strength. I get it. I understand. But I think Travis understood what he had. I think Travis understood what his weaknesses were. It wasn't Travis that built the blue line. I think Travis had to manage it. And, quite frankly, I think that he paid a price for something that really wasn't his doing. And I think that he should and will coach again in the National Hockey League. With managers, I mean, Jim has a lot of experience in the league. I think his next path is to work in an organization in a front office and try to go from there and see where he can contribute. And ultimately see if he can be under consideration for another manager's job. But I think that that's a longer course rather than a shorter course.
Craig, outstanding, and I don't think Rick coughed once during the entire interview. So there's that. Thanks for this.
Craig, I'm holding it in, Craig. I'm holding it in.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great day.
Okay, thanks.
All the best, Craig. All the best.